very probably fortunate to be able to sit here today with a W, but it was an event that we never gave up. We didn't play very good in some spots, especially on defense early. Some busted coverages, gave up some big plays, and things we got to get under control, rectified, whatever. But down 16 or points late in the fourth, I believe, right? And making a run to score the last 17, and I believe we scored one of those points in the third. And but anyhow, it was pretty dramatic. You got our starting quarterback out. Deion Anthony does a really great job. Not perfect, but did a great job. Doing the things he does, and we were without Kyle Wilburn for a half due to the suspension that we made ourselves as a university, and I know that it was a close game, and it was one that we won on a last-second kick, but we had half the yards and penalties that we were under 50. We were 43, I think, 6 for 43, which is still one or two of them in there we could probably have avoided. But they had over 100 yards in penalties, which there's a great advantage in field position inside those yards and hidden yards, and you go to adding the kicking game up. And, exception of one or two little boo-boos in the kicking game, we had a great day in the kicking game, including the last kick for a field goal. Will told me that he felt the wind in his face when he lined up the first time. They iced him, and he lined up the second time, and he felt the wind on his back. And he had more confidence, I'm sure, with that wind on his back. And it wasn't a wide margin of crossing the bar, but it got over. And I told some of y'all after the game, I've been in a game over in Monroe. We kicked a 50-yarder, it hit the crossbar and bounced back into the field. So I know how they feel. And Mario Cristobal is a really fine coach, does a great job. They have really good players, good-looking players, and they play hard. And I would predict that they'll still have something to say about this league as a team in the stretch. And now we've got to proceed to FAU away. And if you look at FAU on tape, they look just like I saw their offense first. They remind me of FIU. And then defensively, they're very aggressive, and they play a lot of man, and they get after you. They'll come after you, pressure your quarterback, and do all those things. But we'll try to have a plan for all that, and try to include our special teams as best we can. We're getting a lot out of them, with the exception of the kickoff return, where we didn't tackle very well. We played pretty well, got some scores out of the kicking game. Hard pressure on PAT field goals paid off because had something to do, I think, with the PAT they missed, which gave us the opportunity to win the game, really. And but anyhow, it was a great win. We needed it badly. It keeps us in the hunt for our conference, and it keeps us in the hunt for bowls, and we gotta keep winning. So, questions?
Corey practiced yesterday. Is he starting on Saturday?
Well, Corey practiced yesterday and looked very sharp, and I think he's. I hadn't talked to Chuck, but I think he's in. He's on the trip for sure, and if he's able to go and be full speed, he'll be the starter.
Get to take a break from the home games and hit the road. Get back on the road again.
Well, we finally won a home game.
Yeah. So. But obviously, getting back on the road again. This road's been good to Detroit this year. So.
Well, and that's really puzzling sometimes. it always has to do with who you play and where, or who you play in, no matter where. And we've won some games on the road against some pretty darn good teams, and highly contested games. And so I hope I know we'll put together a good trip. Sometimes you worry about things that you probably don't need to worry about, but we do a pretty good job of taking care of our guys and on the trip, and have a good plan, and we should always be in fit, and very fit and in good shape, well fed, well rested, on road trips. And so I'm looking forward to the trip with this team and with these coaches. I think our board of trustees goes on this trip and to Boca Raton, and we're gonna do our best to put together a great plan with our folks and all three phases, and find a way to win the game.
This is a team that's in transition with a new coach this
new
year.
head coach.
Struggling a little bit. Do you think that maybe some of that's contributing to the struggles, the transition period there, and how do you plan for that?
Well, you just got to plan for what you see, scheme wise, and try to be able to attack and defend what they do. And they present themselves defensively pretty aggressive, and that if we execute, that should play into our hands somewhat, but if we don't execute it, plays into their hands. And so we got to be concerned about all three phases, and we got to continue to let the kicking game be very, very positive for us, and hope these other two phases, we can score the points we need and defend well enough to get off the field or get stops and give the ball back to and turn it over. And how about scoring on defense? We could do that maybe. And so any of that kind of stuff is good and positive. They had a great game, played hard, and were in it all the way against South. And I think South pulled it out late also in a couple of overtimes maybe. And there was a couple of big-time overtime games in our league this past week. Of course, Western losing to ULM, and and the one in Mobile also. And so we just got to keep pecking away at it and make sure we don't beat ourselves, and we do a good job coaching and playing.
Coach, the way you won that game Saturday, coming from behind, and a lot of different people contributing, that's got to reinforce a lot of things you as coaches are telling the team. I would think that's the kind of win that can pay dividends down the road.
Yeah, I think you're right, exactly right. And you would hope that kind of confidence, that you're never out of it. There was nobody in our stadium or on our sideline that was sure, but I don't think we had anybody give up. And some things had to happen, but before anything good happened, something bad happened. I didn't think it was a very good call. I think it was a no call that should have been called. No, I'm talking about the backwards pass. And that should be easily reviewed, and I'm not sure. I'm gonna try to find out, but I'm not sure about that. But the holding wasn't all that great either, but at the time and the place that it was called. But we got to live with those, and got to make sure that when we're in that situation, we're flawless from a rule standpoint. I'm really proud of the steps we've made toward being better with the penalties, and I think we had one turnover or two. We had a interception, and so that was good too. And the things that I talk about to them every week as a team, we won all of them, but I gave FIU the benefit of the doubt as far as how physical the game was, and we called that one a tie, a physical football game. And but we won the turnover battle, we won the penalty battle, we won the special teams battle, and we won or halved the contact in the fourth quarter. We won the fourth quarter. So those are the things that I discuss with them every week. So, hopefully they are beginning to believe them.
If you had to use one word, this team came back from 16 down. Looking forward to the rest of the season, if you had to pick one word to preach to these guys to build on, what word would that be?
Yeah, you're going to help me. One word. Persistence, maybe. We've talked about it, we've talked about the old saying that this is a journey. This is not something that's going to be over real quick, So you have to be ready for the long haul. And so being persistent with, day in, day out, week in, week out. If you're persistent, you got a chance. And that may not be the word you were hunting, but if you'll give me one that you like, I'll use it.
Say Scrabble, Coach.
Scrabble.
You're 8-1 all time against the Owls, so obviously you know what they bring. But just looking at that game, I think you could argue it might be very easy coming off a big first home win to overlook.
Yeah.
What do you guys need to do to make sure you don't overlook the
Owls? We don't need to be stupid. It's if you look at the tape and check these cats out, you can see where they can win a game. They can win a game. They could beat us. They can beat anybody that they play. And we don't want to be dumb about this deal and look over anybody. We're 4-3. I don't know how you could look over anybody. We're trying to get to bowl eligible, and we're trying to get to a conference championship caliber, and it can still happen.
As mentioned earlier, they're in a little bit of a transition year with Coach Pelini. He had a lot of success as a coach and coordinator at Nebraska. Right. What have you seen out of him that kind of shows you that he'll take that program to hopefully where they want to be? Well,
I've met him once at conference meetings, and I've followed them as brothers in coaching, at Nebraska, and I know this guy didn't get here and get this job because he was, not a good coach. The guy's got credentials, and he'll apply his philosophy to this team and to recruiting, I got a good idea that it will continue to improve, and there's a lot of good teams and a lot of good coaches across the field from us, and this guy is certainly one that I think will have to be contended with as we continue to go through the years in the Sun Belt.
Corey, just talk about how you feeling right now.
Today I went, saw Chuck and the doctor. I'm good. I'm cleared now, so I feel, a lot better about the whole situation, man. It was tough. Sitting over there on Saturday, watching all my guys, and my team, go to war without me. But, we got the win, man, so that's all that matters. It was an exciting football game, man. I'm proud of the way Dion played and carried himself out there. He had a tremendous football game for us and really, won the game for us, man. Dion had played very well. I'm proud of him for that, man. And, but from my standpoint, I'm healthy. I'm back this week, so I'll be making the trip to Florida and getting back on track.
The guys talked about how you still played a vocal role on the sidelines. How important was it for you to still be in that game with them? Shoot, took everything I had not to, put on, Kevin's Pantastico, another quarterback's uniform, and go out there. So under a different identity. But, I tried to, play my part, man, and just being there for those guys, even though I couldn't be on the field. Just trying to be a team player, that I am, and, show it vocally, since I couldn't do it physically.
What does it say about the confidence and the fact that you were not able to play, but this team was still able to get together and do what they did on Saturday?
I mean, that was, very encouraging. And at the same time, man, I think that win is going to go a long way for us in this season, talking about, hopefully going bowling and stuff like that, man. It's one closer to 6. So, we played good, against a pretty good football team, man. Their record doesn't show, just how good they, I think that they really, are and are capable of being. So, even though they're 1-6, man, I think they're a better football team than that. And, those guys came together and, played well, man. Picked up the defense at times, and the defense picked us, up at times, man. But I think that the overall play, was a lot different. But at the same time, it got the job done, which is all that matters in the end.
You look at another team that's struggling facing this weekend, Florida Atlantic. Is there potential of, after the high of this weekend and playing a team that's struggling to possibly just let this one slide and overlook it?
I mean, I think Coach Blaney said it perfect, man. We're 4-3, so we don't need to overlook anybody. We beat ourselves sometimes, which hurts a football team pretty bad, man. So sitting at 4-3, man, it's hard to overlook somebody, man, because you can lose any game. It seems like in college football this year, it's so evenly strung out. I feel like throughout the entire college football, except for 1 or 2 teams. So.
You mentioned you're feeling better. Do you expect to have any limitations this Saturday, or are you just going to go out there and take it like you normally are?
Just going to take it like a normal game, man. They cleared me to go 100%. So this morning, man, I'm just going to treat it like like I have the past couple years, man. Just go out there and try to do what I do, and me and Dion are going to try to hit him with the two-headed monster and get a win.
Just talk about that two-headed monster. I mean, he brought another dimension for his running ability. Just talk about how that will give you guys an advantage this week.
It's it's got to be terrible for defenses, to have to, get ready for that each week, just because he is such a dynamic runner out there, and people forget that he can throw the ball around pretty well too. So, I wouldn't want to play against us, even though we beat ourselves early in the season. Say what you want, we should be 7-0 right now, riding a pretty good wave. But me and him put together, I think that's a pretty good combination, for success. We just got to, me and him got to get together and keep going in the right direction.
Or do you feel any pressure to do more running yourself?
No.
But, out of South Alabama, you rushed for a touchdown, and he threw something right.
Yeah. We just gotta get it how we gotta get it. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me how we get it done, as long as we do get it done and make it to a bowl game. If I gotta run for a touchdown, he's gotta throw for 6. It doesn't matter. So if we win, I'll be satisfied at the end of the day.
You got the game in the offense's hands at the 6-yard line, down 2 points. Forget me. What's your mindset right there?
I was just like, make plays and don't make any mistakes. And the offense, they kept confidence in me. We had confidence in each other. So it's just take it one play at a time. Not try to do too much. Just take what they give me and try to get down the field in field goal range.
It wasn't an easy drive. I mean, you guys had a lot of things, the sack, the penalty, all sort of stuff. So was it discouraging that it took so long to get down there and get that set up?
Yeah, it was just like, don't take a sack in this situation, because I don't think we had any timeouts left. And when I got sacked, it was just like, I was going to think about the next play and try to get something big out of it. But they played a good coverage on that certain play, and I just found Sean for the check down. He did a good job running after the catch and getting out of bounds.
Did anything you did on Saturday, anything that you did, surprise you? Your level of play, anything like that? Were you surprised at the way you performed?
I had a good week of practice. So, the offensive line did a good job, and our scout team, they did a good job giving us good looks, like certain things that FIU was going to do, and we just executed on them.
For the record, I just voted for you for your Manic Award star. I'm a Georgia Bulldog. But anyway, aside from that, just put into words this first start for you. It could it get any more dramatic? Just talk about that first start.
It was amazing. the team had a total amount of confidence in me the whole week of practice, and I just wanted to get out there and perform, you know what I mean? I didn't think the game was going to be that close, but, I mean, I'm just glad we got the win at the end.
Now, Corey's back healthy again, things are going. What's the dynamic now between you guys? How is it going to go back to what it is? You've got more playing time. Are things going to change or stay the same than what the
Well, Coach, he never mentioned anything about it, but he's slowly working Corey back in, you know. I don't think he's 100% yet, but, I mean, if he's not ready to go, I'll be ready to go. So, I mean, if he does come back, I'll just, you know, do what I've been doing. So, I mean, nothing really going to change.
Does it give you a little bit more confidence now that you've got this game, this win under your belt, this start, so that if you do have to play, then you're going to be a little bit better at position?
I mean, coaches have a lot of confidence in me, and I mean, with this win, it just shows I could do a little more. So, I mean, they'll probably add certain things to the packages that I usually do, and we'll just go from there.
Corey described it as a two-headed monster. Just talk about how, you know, with the team's preparing for you guys, just how much of an advantage that gives you guys.
I mean, I think when he's in, they think more pass and not run. But now that I come in, they usually think just run. But, I mean, from this past week game, they'll probably have to game plan different, knowing I could throw and run at the same time.
And this week is obviously important, going on the road. It seems like y'all's favorite place to go on the road and try to pick up a win. And you got that first home run out of the way. What are you guys trying to do momentum-wise carrying into this weekend?
Well, I mean, on the road, we undefeated. So, I mean, we pretty confident going on the road. So, I mean, we just have to go out there, don't come out flat like we did this week, and hopefully things will work out for us.
At the end of the day, even though you guys won, they still put up 37 points. And outside of that fumble that the offense had, I mean, how would you assess the way the defense played on Saturday overall?
We were very lackadaisical, I'd say. Coming in, especially in that first half. That first half, the guys were not reading their keys. We weren't doing what we needed to do as a defense to stop them. You know, we was falling asleep on our assignments. You know, things just wasn't going our way. I don't know whether it was because of the early game or not. We couldn't really get in the rhythm. But that second half, we kind of, you know, did a good job of, you know, waking up a little bit and stopping them a couple times, you know, which in turn helped us win the game. So.
Does that give you a little more confidence, the fact that you can make those adjustments and the team can be able to hold out a team like that had success against you?
Definitely. We knew, you know, coming in there was a high-powered offense. They had a lot of weapons, you know, to work with. And, you know, we just, like I said, we came out flat, you know, and for us to, you know, to come back out that second half and, you know, kind of slow them down a little bit, you know, stop them as we needed to. And we just had to get it done early, that's all.
The way this season's been going, does it feel good to get back on the road this week?
Yeah, I guess you can say that. You know, we have a little success, you know, undefeated on the road, so that's kind of working in our favor this year as opposed to being home. So hopefully we can continue that trend. So to go down there and get a win at FAU.
Tony, it would seem the only thing keeping this defense from being really good are just those big explosive plays that you're giving up. Do y'all talk a lot about that? If it's like you say, it's just a matter of being flat or some mental breakdowns?
We talk about it every day out the week, Sunday through Sunday. I mean, it's harped on, you know, that those 10 big plays is the reason why we're sitting at where we're sitting at now. You know, if we eliminate those, at least 5 of those big plays, you know, this season would have been a whole other outcome. So we talk about that every week, every day, and it's something that we iterate in our defensive meeting room. So.
Have you started watching film on FAU yet?
Not yet. We start tomorrow. We start our game plan tomorrow, installing tomorrow. So.
Now, I know they're talking about the big plays. This past, when you watch the film, they have set a bunch of career records for these guys: passing yards, receiving yards, rushing yards, individual records. How do you guys go about, you know, preventing them from setting new ones and just kind of taking their momentum away, even though they lost? Right. But their offense seemed like they were clicking last game.
Right. Just playing fundamental football. You know, reading our keys, standing on our guys. You know, just getting to the quarterback. Just little things. You know, just working together as a unit. You know, to correct those mistakes, and in turn we'll get it done.
Winning a game like that, I know Coach Lynn, but just talk about what that says about a team when you know, coaches talk about not being out of it, knowing that. What does that say for you guys, knowing that you can fight through that adversity, especially with all the changes you guys have with the team this week?
Well, you know, just going back to off season. I mean, we've been put in situations, you know, to simulate, you know, working as a team, you know, coming through, pressing through at the end of games, and you know, just go back to the off season, working hard. octagon, a lot of team activities where we have to work together as a unit. Just reverting back to our old ways, to integrate that in the game and to actually see that us overcoming an obstacle like that, it really says a lot about this team. So.
When you start to watch film on FAU, obviously teams are going to pop out on tape. They're only 1-6 though. When it comes down to, you can't just talk about it, you got to be about it. What is going to be talked about with the guys to make sure that you don't overlook this 1-6 Florida Atlantic team?
Just coming out and getting the job done early, making a statement early. We can't wait on them, to get things rolling. We have to go out and stop them immediately, break their will, enforce our will early in that game and just make a statement as far as, we're not going to, cruise into this game. We got to go out and take it. So that's the approach we're going to take to this game.